Hi there folks, it's Lucy here from the Square Enix Life is Strange team. Life is Strange 2 expanded on both the impact and nuances of choice and consequence after the first game. So we wanted to deep dive on one of Life is Strange 2's most important, but also most misinterpreted systems, how your speech and actions affect Daniel. This added insight will hopefully guide you in making decisions as you start Life is Strange 2 for the first time, or binge again from the beginning. We want to keep this video simple, but if you fancy a more in-depth explanation on the Educating Daniel system, head over to our official blog. There will be spoilers for all episodes coming up, but we'll cover them in chronological order with clear spoiler warnings on screen at each point, so it's easier for you to watch the parts that you want. But first, a brief explanation before we dive into specific examples. As you may know, choices and their consequences in Life is Strange 2 are primarily centered around Daniel, the younger brother of Sean, the character that you play. But what we purposefully haven't outlined properly to date is the depth of this Educating Daniel system, or how it actually functions, as we want players to experience the narrative as naturally as possible.
Right! Yes!
We'll often see players deconstruct the outcome of a Life is Strange 2 episode using the choice and consequence system of previous games. Like, if you chose these specific 3 or 4 options, you'll get outcome X.
Sorry, Lisa. Too much water.
But interpreting Life is Strange 2 in this way may lead to frustration and confusion.
I hate this place.
You see, there are added layers of complexity when it comes to educating Daniel. Rather than relying on a one-track model where you can only teach him to be good or bad, with only major key decisions affecting him, the truth is that Daniel grows and learns from your example based on 2 separate values: morality and brotherhood. Daniel's morality state determines how he acts in any given situation. Is he kind and considerate, or is he entirely selfish, without regard for other people's feelings or safety?
I hate this game.
Daniel's brotherhood state determines how he responds to what you, as Sean, teach and ask of him.
Can I play? Please, please, please.
Sure, but don't beg.
Does he trust you to make the right choice for the 2 of you, or will he disregard what you say because you've been unable to bond with him?
Sean, you better not steal again. You better not.
Here's the thing, the choices you must make in Life is Strange 2 are, like in other Life is Strange games and life in general, imperfect options. There's no true right or wrong decision, and all of them are laced with their own pros and cons. And even the sweetest looking option could contain a sting in the tail. While some decisions may improve Daniel's morality, the same choices can have a negative impact on his trust in you and your brotherhood, and vice versa. They're also weighted differently, so it's not always +1 or -1 per choice. Let's check out a quick example of this. In episode 2 at the Reynolds house, Daniel will complain about having to write in his workbook. As Sean, you can either cut him some slack and allow him to stop working, gaining his trust in you, but taking a knock to his morality.
You don't.
But being a responsible big brother and telling him to finish his work will provide the opposite effect.
I know it sucks, but you still have to learn things. Or you'll become dumb.
Okay.
You will have to weigh up each option for yourself and decide which outcome will be better for your personal Diaz brothers. Major choices will have a greater impact on Daniel's education overall, but the lessons they teach him can still be outweighed by the many smaller choices you may make throughout your journey and the examples that you set.
Step back.
This is also why playthroughs can result in different outcomes, even if you make the same major choices as your friends and other players. To date, Life is Strange 2 has featured over 50 individual choices that have altered Daniel's moral compass and trust towards Sean. This is what we mean when we say everything you do will have an impact on Daniel.
You can do this. Trust me.
So now we're going to delve deeper into some specific scenes from episodes 1 to 4 that showcase how educating Daniel works.
I've never seen anything like this. Never, ever.
Spoilers ahead for Life is Strange 2 Episode 1. Episode 1 is packed with smaller moments that can easily be overlooked and are vital in setting up your trust and morality with Daniel. They may seem minor, even insignificant, but they will accumulate and web out into consequential outcomes.
Who are we fighting?
Orcs and goblins tracked us down! Watch out!
They can't beat our fellowship.
Do you steal to survive? Or do you risk you and your younger brother going hungry to set a good example? This is a vital decision to make in episode 1. There are numerous points where you can take what isn't yours. Stealing the Choco Crisp from the car, breaking into the parking fund box, shoplifting at the gas station. But let's take a closer look at the latter. If you decide to use Daniel as a decoy and use the distraction he creates to steal food, Daniel's morality and brotherhood will take a blow. As Sean, you can steal without getting Daniel involved, but it will still negatively impact his morality, because, let's face it, stealing isn't good. Both of these options also teach Daniel that it's okay to take what isn't yours, a lesson that is reflected later down the line. But when you're both starving, perhaps this is just what it takes to survive.
Could you spare a little food or something? Hey, look at that one.
It might be tempting to be a sarcastic big brother rather than a supportive one, but this will leave Daniel in a negative headspace.
Not feed or disturb the animals? What? What kind of animals?
Antagonizing him by claiming there are bears and wolves in the forest will freak him out and cause him to get scared.
We shouldn't be out here.
And he blames you when he's having his nightmare.
You said there were bears and wolves.
And letting him eat bad berries, either intentionally or because you weren't watching him closely enough, will cause him to get sick and have even more of a rubbish night.
It hurts.
Both of these options will cause Daniel to trust you less.
Maybe it was something you ate?
Spoilers ahead for Life is Strange 2, Episode 2. Brotherhood and morality starts fluctuating with Daniel as soon as you hop into Episode 2, with the snowball training. You'll have 4 methods of interacting with the snowball, each of which will alter how Daniel perceives you. You can throw the snowball properly, gaining Daniel's trust. You can throw a snowball at Daniel's head, which will rightly decrease his trust in you. Throwing it at Mushroom, how dare you, will take a knock to not only his trust in you, but his moral compass too.
You almost hit our dog. Learn how to aim.
And finally, if you're a truly harsh big brother, throwing a snowball at Daniel and Mushroom will negatively affect both too.
Daniel.
That's what you get. Happy?
Spoilers ahead for Life is Strange 2, Episode 3. There's a scene in camp where Daniel is helping with the chores by doing the dishes. This is another example of apparently inconsequential moments still shaping young Daniel's perception of the world and his older brother. Not helping him out will result in a double brotherhood and morality drop, whereas offering help, whether he chooses to accept it or says he can manage alone, will boost both values.
Yeah. I don't miss doing the dishes.
Daniel accepting your help is based on your developed relationship so far, but additionally, the outcome of that scene impacts on your relationship differently, making a system that can, at times, perpetuate itself. So, your brotherhood being low at that point means that Daniel won't accept your help, leading to further brotherhood loss.
Alright then.
Spoilers ahead for Life is Strange 2, Episode 4. Daniel is missing for the majority of Episode 4.
You lied to me. You have no leads. You have no fucking idea where my brother is.
And so your influence on him comes down to what you've taught him so far. There are some key points where you can affect your relationship with Daniel, and some really significant moments where your actions up until this point will shape the course of events to come. Namely in the scene where you reunite and talk about Sean's eye.
What? What happened to your eye?
Even though technically, Sean being pierced in the eye with a shard of glass is the result of Daniel's telekinesis rage, blaming your 10-year-old brother for something he struggles to control is hardly sibling of the year worthy. So if you say that it's his fault, of course his moral judgment and trust in you will decline.
I know, but I warned you.
At the fiery conclusion of Episode 4, as the church burns down around the Diaz brothers, with their mother and Lisbeth inside, the way that Daniel behaves in the final confrontation with Lisbeth shows perfectly how you've raised him to date. If Daniel's morality is low, he will try to hurt Lisbeth without any direction from Sean, lifting her up with his power.
You really did try to use me.
If your brotherhood is high enough, Sean can convince Daniel not to harm her. Daniel even says,
Okay. I trust you.
which implies that letting her go isn't something he really wants to do, but that he will follow your judgment. If Daniel's morality and brotherhood are both low, then Sean is trapped by the choice between letting Lisbeth be strangled and Daniel having her death on his conscience, or shooting Lisbeth, taking the moral burden for himself. If Daniel's morality is high, he will stand next to you and follow your lead, allowing you to resolve the situation relatively peacefully.
Still repent. I don't believe you anymore.
With the lid now lifted a little bit more on how Sean's actions and speech affects Daniel's personality, how do you think your Daniel will act in the climactic ending of the game? The only way to find out is to play all the way through to the finale. Thank you for watching.